Welcome to the Emotionally Focused Eating Podcast with your host, Emerald Hill. This is a safe space of learning, personal growth, and life enrichment. Each episode is dedicated to knowledge towards the connection between emotions and the relationship between the mind, body, and food. Come on in. Hello there, and welcome to the second episode of the Emotionally Focused Eating Club with Emerald Hill. That's me. Hi, today I'm going to be going over my weight loss story and where I am today and what my goals are for the future. So I wrote down a couple of questions for myself just to hopefully keep myself on track. The who, what, why, when, how, where of my weight loss story. First of all, I had been overweight or obese for the majority of my life. Since I was a small kid, I was pretty much always into food. I really enjoyed eating and I was pretty chunky. And then I think it was my biggest weight when I was in high school. I was 270 pounds, and the kind of trigger as to what made me realize that I would like to start losing weight and changing my lifestyle was when I was in grade 9 and we were filming a scene for a drama class thing, and I could see myself kind of compared to other people, because in photos and stuff I would always hide in the back or just sort of not be in the picture at all. And the pictures that I would take of myself usually were of my face. And so I was kind of shocked into realizing what 270 pounds looks like on me. And so from that point on, I knew that I really wanted to start losing weight. And it was a really big struggle because my whole family was kind of overweight. My dad and my mom both were also 100 pounds overweight. My brother, not so much. He had a pretty fast metabolism, so he was actually the only one in my family that was a healthy weight. And so it was in the second year of high school was when I really started to change my lifestyle, because what happened was my whole family went on a diet. My aunt had gone on the Atkins diet and she had lost 150 pounds, and so we decided that maybe that was something that our family needed to try to sort of get a healthier lifestyle implemented, and that's exactly what we did. At first we did the Atkins diet, and that worked pretty well. It was a lot of trial and error. There was a lot of trying to work with cauliflower. There was, we loved pizza, so we were trying to recreate all of these recipes that we enjoyed, like pizza and chicken wings and, French fries and stuff like that, but just healthier options, which I tried to work with coconut flour to make pizza dough or almond flour, and that was a nightmare. We tried different things, and so through sort of coming up at a wall in the Atkins diet from trying those sorts of recipes, we gravitated more towards the keto diet overall eventually. And so I lost 60 pounds in that sort of summer in the second year of high school, and so that was one the biggest kind of weight loss that I had ever done in my life. And I got a lot of positive feedback, and that was really great. I was really into, trying to be healthier and trying to be healthier at home. And I didn't really pay attention to portion sizes at that point, because really it was just about changing my overall perspective of food and eating. And so I was kind of still losing weight, but I really noticed that for me, social interactions were a big weakness for me. I really kind of slowed down my weight loss when I was in high school, back in with my friends and stuff, because I took a culinary course where we made real pizza, and we had dishes that they encouraged you to try, and all of them were basically high in carbs, and that's sort of what I blamed it on. I would eat that, but then I would go home and eat my regular food, which was probably more the case as to why I started gaining weight. Well, not gaining weight, as to why I started just slowing down. And so then I noticed every summer I would lose a good amount of weight. But then eventually college came up, and I went to college, and that was a really big blow in my weight loss journey. I gained 30 pounds in the time that I was in college, and so that 30 pounds stuck with me for about 2 or 3 years, actually. for my 2 years of college and then my year of university. Really stuck with me. And then I moved back home with my parents, who were still really into not so much the keto diet, but more of like a varied keto diet, more like Mediterranean looking back on it. And so there was a lot of like high protein, low carb meals that we had, and so I started getting back on track. So when I was around like 21 or so, 21 or 22, that's when I really started to like get back into it. I lost the weight and I continued to lose the weight, and now I'm sitting at 100 pounds weight loss, and I've been maintaining that for about 2 or 3 years now. So I've lost 100 pounds, and that's been a fantastic journey. It's been a lot of trial and error. I think I still have a lot to learn in terms of being able to maintain my weight, as well as going for goals that I would like to achieve now. For instance, I would like to lower my body weight a little bit more, but I would also like to put on muscle. I'm learning how to work with my body in terms of movement, because I find that unfortunately I have a weak back, and sometimes I can throw it out. Like 2 years ago, I was really into spin cycling. I love spin cycling. It was one of my favorite activities, and now it's something that I haven't done in months. And when I did do it, it was one time, and then I hadn't done it in months before that, because I'm just so afraid of like throwing out my back. So right now I'm kind of working with overcoming like this. There's still a need to binge eat, so there's still like overcoming those kind of cravings and tendencies and habits like that. And then there's also learning new habits and putting into place things that I can do that I can also, doesn't affect my everyday life. Because when you throw out your back because you do a 20-minute spin cycling workout, well, that takes you out for an entire week. And that's something that I'm really trying to avoid. What I would say is, look at your paper, Emerald. So some of the questions I have here was, how old was I when I was my heaviest? I was probably 15 or 16, maybe 14. How did I lose weight? Primarily the keto diet. Who helped me lose weight? I really find that my parents and my family really being in the diet together was the biggest reason why I was successful at losing weight. I really came to a realization when I was back in other environments where my family wasn't there, and I realized like how just attuned I was to taking the opportunity to binge eat and make sure that I had that opportunity. Even like I kind of convinced myself like, oh, now that I know that I'm able to lose weight on the keto diet when I'm with my family, I can indulge and overindulge in other areas of my life. And it really made my weight fluctuate, and it really kind of put a dent in my self-esteem, because it was just like, yes, even though I can go over here and have a healthy lifestyle and things, start to work again, if I keep going back over here, then I'm just maintaining the same weight in the middle. So it's not actually helpful, it's just detrimental. And so what I really learned right now, maintaining my weight, is that I live alone. So it's really easy for me to sort of now kind of come to terms with what works for me, and what works for me in maintaining my weight that it is now, but also being able to overcome the urge to binge eat, because just like doing therapeutic techniques like meditation and journaling and self-affirmations and positive affirmations, and being able to tell myself, like writing down my goals and knowing what I want, being able to practice reminding myself what my goals are and what my real wants are and what my values are and what my beliefs are, really have helped me come a long way in maintaining that when I go out into social areas. Like, oh, I'm not just this way for my parents' sake, oh, because it works when I'm with, my family. Now I understand that this is who I am wherever I am. How did I decide to lose weight, and what was the trigger, motivation? What was my reason why? When I looked at myself in the video of the drama play, I just really realized that, you know what? Because at that point, I had been bullied a ton. And not that I'm saying that bullying is okay. I think that bullying is not okay. It's one of the worst things a person can go through in this day and age. And it just wasn't helpful overall. And it instilled a lot of negative beliefs about myself, and it really just made life incredibly difficult in being able to overcome the coping skill of overeating, because it wasn't that I was lazy or, just like, I don't know, not willing to lose weight. It was just that food was like just a place where I could find comfort. And I take responsibility for that as well, though it is like hard to look at bullying as a way of helping someone to lose weight when it's really detrimental in terms of emotional and mental health. And so when I looked at that video, it kind of reinforced all of the negative things that had been said to me and all of the negative things that I had about myself. And I really realized, like, wow, that's who I am. I don't think that that's who I want to be. I really want to be able to take back my power, and that I really want to be able to be the person that I see myself as. And when I saw that video, I didn't see myself. And so it really was the challenge of being able to not spiral into despair about, well, this is who I am now, I can't believe it, there's no point in doing anything, there's no point in trying to change, but really taking the opportunity to say, I have the power to change myself, and I have the power to become the person that I see myself as, and I know what I need to do to get there. And it was just an extra help to be able to have my family support me in that and take the journey with me into being able to implement healthier lifestyles. And so I think that it's really, when I look back at what I'm saying, I know that it's taking a really long time to get it out, but when I look back, it's really about recognizing what needs to change and being able to have those conversations with the people in your life or yourself, and that what is the goal? How are you going to get there? How are you going to work with yourself to get there? And who do you need to admit to that you need their help to get there? Whether it's, I really need you to not eat that food in front of me because I'm really recognizing that I have an emotional attachment to food, or I have a relationship with food, however you would like to say it. I've just noticed that when I see you eat the food that I really like, it really derails my diet, and I'm working on taking responsibility for that, but I need you to work with me for this period of time. And maybe even set a time measurement, like just until this date, and I'll reassess and we'll come back to it, but I need you to work with me and develop a sense of mutual respect in terms of this new lifestyle. I was very lucky that my family went on this diet with me, because is it so much easier, especially when you go through your cupboards and you clean out your cupboards, and it's like, wow, okay, I can't have this because I can't have this in the house. Like, I'll pack my house full of good, nutritious food that I can eat, that I can snack on, but I won't have this food that I know will trigger a need to binge eat. Because for me, I know that sometimes, like, I just wake up in the middle of the night and I'm just like, I'm making pancakes, It's true. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not making fun. I'm not mocking. It's true. So how long was I overweight for? Basically my whole life. I only recently kind of got to a place where, I've sort of had like the validation from other people that they don't actually see me as overweight now, even though, like, according to the BMI chart, I am still overweight. Socially, I think that, I don't know about TikTok, but just the environment that I'm in, people have just sort of said, like, oh, I don't really consider you to be, overweight. What am I doing now? So right now, as I said, I'm trying to work on my week back. I'm trying to instill more of a Mediterranean diet in terms of weight loss. I would like to lose, like, not that I'm so keen on the scale, but around like 20 pounds. And I'm trying to do that through the Mediterranean diet, because while I did lose weight on keto, I do believe in carbs. I do believe in healthy vegetables and nutrition and sugars and things like that, right? But it's just more in terms of like working with myself in my need to sometimes overindulge. And sometimes for me, especially since that was like my go-to food when I used to binge eat, it was just like carbs, like pasta and bread and cheese sandwiches and like, you know, the sugary stuff and like dumplings and all of that jazz. It's just like overindulgence, but it's like now I'm trying to work with myself in terms of, okay, I do feel kind of the need to like binge eat, you know, and I will, but it'll be on cucumbers and like all kinds of like salads and stuff that has like a lot, like sometimes it is a lot. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I do overeat still and eat a lot of food, but I'm working in terms of like, I've maintained my weight for 2 years. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to instill healthier habits. And this is just another stepping stone that I'm hoping to be open and out loud with this audience in this community, because I am running an emotionally focused eating retreat, and I want to be able to show what the process is like, because it is a lifelong process. Just like healthier habits and healthier eating is a lifelong lifestyle change, so is being able to work with binge eating or emotional eating. It's kind of like you always get better at it and you have better practice with it, but that's what it is. It's practice. You're always practicing. And there's no sadness in that. There's no frustration. Like there is a lot of that, but there's no guilt or shame in admitting that this is a lifelong process, and that, you know, you can still achieve your goals while feeling the frustration and struggle with, you know, the dark side of trying to deal with everything at once, you know? Like, it's true, like, sometimes you can't just stop the urge or need to binge eat, right? Sometimes it lasts with you for a lot of years. Does that mean that you won't be able to lose weight while you struggle with the need to binge eat? No, you can still move on and progress and meet goals while dealing with this other side that does make this process harder. It's just about working with yourself and having self-compassion and kindness. So that brings me to my final little list of questions. What do I believe the principles of weight loss are? Finding your reason why. Why is this so important? What is going to get you through the need to, you know, because eating food for me creates a lot of joy. What's going to provide me that joy, or what's going to push me through the fact that I'm not going to receive that kind of joy for a period of time? What's going to get me there? What am I going to focus on? And it's really important, I think, to not set it purely on aesthetics. For myself, I just like focus my goal on just changing my body shape, just like doing it until I saw a change. And that was kind of like implementing SMART goals as well. Like, okay, the 6-month mark, I would like to see some sort of change in my body. And yes, I did record myself and I did weigh myself, but it was more to do with making sure that I was focusing on myself and my outer self, and being able to say like, okay, like, let's put in positives and make sure that I'm reaffirming that I enjoy this, because I have to enjoy it or else that's just misery. Finding joy and positivity in accomplishing goals, right? So when I was losing weight, when I was younger, a lot of Pinterest stuff that I would look up, you know, losing weight goals, like, oh, I'll buy this book when I lose weight. Oh, when I hit this weight loss mark. Oh, I'll take myself shopping when I hit this weight loss mark. Oh, I'll do this when I hit this weight loss mark. That wasn't helpful for me, just because it was kind of like, well, I'm depriving myself of that and this and that. So, whoopsie. I'm depriving myself of the things that make me enjoy, you know, being alive, and now I'm depriving myself of other things that I'm trying to enjoy, you know, like setting them as goals, but it was just sort of like just an imbalance for me. And so what I really realized was like being able to find joy outside of eating and outside of food and outside of thinking about food, because I love cooking and I love eating food and I love thinking about different flavors and things like that. I don't know, it's just like my love language, I guess. But I really had to like think about different things that I enjoy and like distract myself and like really focus on different stuff and really find a new joy for life through doing different things. So reading the book, being able to say like, you know, just accomplishing and feeling accomplished, do it. You're making an accomplishment through doing and doing things that aren't, you know, obsessing over food. I found that I was just like having obsessive thoughts over food and like finding the joy in just things that were outside of that is one of the biggest things that I think really helped me with my journey. Manageability, making it manageable, right? So as I said, I still like really love to indulge, and I try to do it with more whole foods, more natural foods as opposed to processed foods, because that's just working with myself, right? Eating a giant salad, heck yeah, you know. But making things manageable. If you know that you love eating a huge amount of food at night like I do, then, you know, work with yourself. Like, as much as you admire an influencer who eats like this giant bowl of frozen fruit in the morning and then like doesn't care, eats like a salad at night, like whatever, I'm not making fun, but like eats a salad at night and you say, okay, that's not my usual thing, but I'll try it, and then you find that you've eaten, you know, their style throughout the day, but now it's nighttime and you're just like, God, this is the time, and then you start your cycle of how you usually do your diet. Well, that's just, you know, double, and that's something that I used to do. That's something that I used to do a lot. It's like, okay, I'm fine. I'm binge eating and I feel like this is a habit that I need to continue. So what I did was I worked with myself. Okay, yeah, you know what? There's something about the frozen fruit that I think is really cool. There's something about the overnight oats that I think is really cool. I'm not a morning eater. I could care less about breakfast, sorry, but it's black coffee or nothing. And so, like, I'll say, okay, like, in the afternoon I'll eat when I'm hungry, and then at night, that's when I have dinner, and then that's when it's kind of like fasting during the day. It's just working with yourself. If you don't really feel the need to eat, then, you know, what's the big deal? But if you feel the need to eat, go with that, but just work with yourself. Work with yourself and keep in mind the other things that I mentioned. Keeping busy. That's the last thing that I wrote on my list, but it sort of fits with the theme of everything that I just said. Keeping busy. I really find that I am able to stick with my lifestyle when I'm out of the house. I just find that staying in the house is just like, oh, I'm lounging, it's time to have a snack. Oh, I'm working on something, let me have a snack. Oh, I'm kind of bored. What about a snack? It'll be just like that all of the time, even if it's like, you know, even though I'm in like a really good place and I don't feel the need to, it's just sort of like habit, I guess. So I take myself out of the house. I do bring snacks. I do bring things that are within what I'm planning myself for the day, or, you know, within the lifestyle that I would like to when I leave the house. And then I go back and it's just like more, I don't know, just regulated, I guess. And that's why I find that COVID was so difficult in being able to actually continue with the weight loss journey, was because it was just like I'm at home all day. It was a nightmare. But now, looking past that, it's time to move on to the future. So overall, right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to implement movement that is respectful of my body limitations, such as walking and yoga, stretching, as well as doing like light strength training. As well, I would like to clean up my diet a bit. I did fall into the habit of introducing more processed foods, but for the past month or so now, I've been posting a lot on YouTube Shorts and TikTok about different recipes that I've been trying to do with the Mediterranean diet. So I've been implementing a lot of whole foods, and I've been eating a lot of like avocado toast. And it's been a really good time, and I feel like everything is sort of, I feel like a lot more energy. I feel that I have a lot more energy recently. And I'm not so afraid of carbs anymore, because I did lose the majority of my weight on the keto diet. Now that I've implemented carbs and I've gotten to a place where I can have a respectful relationship with carbs, I don't feel as triggered anymore when I have avocado toast that I just like throw in the towel I don't know what it was, but it was just like every time I had carbs, it was like, this is my, comfort food. Nom, 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 nom. I don't mean that disrespectfully, it's just the way that I was. This has been my weight loss journey, and I'm really excited to be able to bring the information that I've learned on my journey, the Emotionally Focused Eating Program, to a retreat here at the Portside Loft Retreats. And so you get to actually come and stay here and go through the different articles and books and research that I've done and Dr. Lori has done, and also being able to look at different recipes and things, and also being able to find new joys in life through workshops such as soap making workshops, and being able to explore outside environments and being able to really interact with life in a different way that doesn't always involve food. Thank you so much for tuning into the second episode of the Emotionally Focused Eating Podcast, or the Emotionally Focused Eating Club podcast. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you come back for the next one.